Mr. and Mrs. Middaugh, we have a message for you from your son.
Hello, Mother and Dad. I hope Mary's in on this too, and Randy. I have about 5 minutes here. I want to tell you all I can that time on the Berlin Airlift. We are working over here about 24 hours on. In other words, we make 2 trips to Berlin in 24 hours, and then we're off duty for a minimum of 12 hours before we're called back to make 2 more. So far, I've made 67 trips, and we're weathered in today due to fog. So you can see that whatever you read in the papers, we still don't fly in all kinds of weather. Looks like I'll be over here at least 4 more months, and should be able to rotate by middle of July, I hope. We're making this record out here at the airport now at Rhine, Maine, where our squadron is located. As I said before, we're all fogged in, and so there's nothing for us to do right now. The black market over here is, you've probably heard Francis told you, is best on cigarettes, but right now it's down to 45 marks a carton, and we're a little limited to only 1.5 cartons a week, which doesn't give me too many extra marks to buy little trinkets, although I've been able to pick up a few things for Louise and the kids. The cost of things over here is pretty high, considering, though, the black market prices. We always buy whatever we want, considering our marks. I just got back from Holland last week, and I agree with you, Mother, that that's about the prettiest little country and cleanest country that I've ever seen. And I'd like to go back up there. I was really impressed by their windows and clean houses and shiny doorknobs and so forth. The airlift is what you're interested in mostly. We leave Berlin here, or Frankfurt here, and fly to Berlin. It takes about an hour and 45 minutes, and it takes about 30 minutes on the ground in Berlin to unload our coal. And then with the return, it takes about an hour to 45 minutes to 2 hours to return. The airplanes fly up at odd altitudes of 5,000 and 6,000 feet with at least 3 minutes separation, and we return at 7,000 and 8,000 feet with the same separation depending on the weather. If it's instrument weather, we have as much as 5 minutes between planes. On contact weather, it's usually 2 to 3 minutes between planes. Actually, there's nothing to it. Flying is the easiest part of it, and it's as safe as any flying that I've ever done in the States, and there's nothing to worry about. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, here we go again. The corridor system between here and Berlin is, the corridor is 10 miles wide, and like I've said before, the altitudes are we're separated by altitudes where there's actually very little danger of any collisions or anything like that in the air. On the few good days that I've had flying to Berlin, I've seen 6 or 8 Russian fighters, but it's always been from such a distance that they've never bothered us, and I don't know of any of my friends even if they've bothered us. I've seen about 40 to 50 of them on the ground over a few Russian airfields that we passed on our return trip, but like I say, nobody's bothering any of us over here. The VR-8 is doing pretty well in the airlift. We're given quite a bit of competition to the Air Force squadrons, and actually there's pretty good competition amongst all squadrons over here. As you know, there are only 2 Navy squadrons, VR-8 from Honolulu and VR-6 is from Guam. The weather is starting to improve over here. The last couple of weeks that I've flown, I've had pretty good ceilings all the way, and especially good ceilings when landing. I haven't even had to make a GCA approach over a couple of times since, well, at least 2 weeks ago. And the weather is starting to get better, so that you can stop worrying about any of the flying that's going on here. Like I've said before, it's even easier and better than in the States, considering the control that they've got. My second leave, I went down to Garmisch, Germany, which is down in southern Germany or Bavaria, and there I tried to do a little skiing and ice skating. I did take some pictures, and if they turn out good, I'll try to have a few sent over to you. I naturally spent a little bit more time on my fanny than I did walking, but it was really fun. The first trip, of course, was to Paris, and that's a beautiful city also, but it cost me a little bit more money than I like to spend. I hope to make on my next leave, I hope to be able to go to Switzerland or possibly to Vienna. At least I want to try to make every place I can while I am over here on my 5 days leave. You know that we get 5 days about every 15 days, and if I could just manage to have a little money to spend, I'm not going to spend time here in Frankfurt. I've heard pretty regularly from Louise. She says the kids are getting along fine, but I think she wants to leave Honolulu, so she wants to. She's getting the okay from me. It's up to her, and I don't know whether they're going to return me there or not. I've requested to be returned, but there's nothing I can do about it. So I have to sign off now, and I'll aloha to you.